Greetings and welcome back. Doing another tutorial, kind of showing some tips how to approach certain things. What I'm doing today is I was hired to do like what do they call them? Like memory pillows, remembrance pillows, memorial pillows. You know, when you take a shirt or some kind of keepsake that a loved one wore that they passed on, or it's just something that is very meaningful to somebody. You could turn them into pillows, or I've seen some people do them into teddy bears. Today I'm going to be doing a pillowcase. I have done something like this in the past, but I did make it like an actual pillow and I stuffed it, and I did some monogramming on the side, which I'll show a picture of it in a little bit or towards the end of the video. And of course, when you do something like this, you want to approach it with as much empathy as possible. Certainly, these people trust you with their loved ones' belongings. In this case, and then the last case when I did the previous pillow, which, I will show it at the end of the video. You don't want to waste. I mean, you want to use as much as the shirt or the skirt or whatever they give you as possible. Like, you don't want to throw away a lot of stuff. So the client wasn't really sure. She wanted a pillow. She wanted to keep costs down because if you don't know, polyfill can get really expensive, especially if you're doing like a medium-sized pillow and you want to get good polyfill. You could easily spend like 20 bucks on polyfill for maybe a pillow of this size. Now I am going to do a standard pillowcase, and I did use one of mine that I have here just to kind of map out if it would be enough, and it was. So that's what I was going for, and I'm glad I'm able to do that because she can slip in a standard size pillow now, and then she can wash this and whatever. So here's what I'm going to do. As you can see, I already marked out with some chalk where that square is going to be. I didn't mark out any of this because all this I'm going to keep. And I guess this is her father's shirt, does have like a screen printed tag on it that, to show that it was his work shirt. And she's like, please don't throw that away. I really want to keep it. Can you incorporate it somehow in the shirt? So what I'm going to do, and what you can do if you ever get a request like this, is that, see here, this is where I marked up. This is where I'm going to cut the sleeves. The sleeves, what I'm going to do once I cut it off is I'm going to take out a chunk from the top, and I'm going to come in from the inside, and I'm going to stitch it so that way it covers this gaping hole right here. I'm going to stitch it up to here so that way the tag is still visible. Oh, sorry, my hands are terrible. Winter skin. That's what happens to me. Okay, yeah, anyways. Sorry, that was like totally random, but I hate my hands. Anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out a chunk from there and then insert it from the inside of the shirt and tack it down, not covering the tag, of course. And since this is a regular shirt, it is, front and back, so I can just cut it once. Some tips for when you also do this, especially if you're going to be stuffing it, is before you really start getting heavy into cutting it, with some stitching and unmatching thread, why don't you go ahead and sew down this, because this is just for show now. There's no need to open it unless you want to sew down the bottom, and the way they insert the pillow is by unbuttoning it. But if you're stuffing it, you can't really go that route. You will need to tack this down, and then you're going to have to stuff it from down here and then close it off with like a whip stitch or something like that. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let's get started. So here I had put it down, as you can see, and I'm just cutting the sides off to go ahead and prepare it to sew as a rectangular standard size pillow. So I'm just following the lines that I used to map out with my yellow chalk. I'm also just kind of leveling out the bottom because the shirt didn't really meet equally in the bottom. Here you can see I'm taking the sleeve and I'm cutting out that big piece that I'm going to fit, that's going to cover the neck hole on the shirt. and then I'm gonna place it over it, and then I'll get my yellow chalk and I kind of just, you know, map out by feeling it, like rubbing the area that will need to be sewn in. And then I'm just gonna cut that out. As you can see, it's kind of like a smashed little triangle size piece. Then here I'm just kind of making sure that it is the right size, so I'm just putting it in there. Okay, so last night I partially machine stitched and hand stitched to what do you call it, close this up. So let me flip this over. So see, I didn't cut out the label that the customer wanted to keep. So this is what it looks like. So I took that weird triangular piece that I cut, and I sewed it first with the machine just on the you know, on the behind the neck where that is, and then the rest of it I pinned in place, and then from here to here I hand stitched it, as you can see. Let me flip this back over. So now, you know, it's sealed in. Nothing's gonna get through there. And then, as I told you, if you're not planning on using this as the opening to stuff your pillow, you do want to tack this down. And I did this with the biggest stitch that was available on my machine. And I just sewed this down, so now there's no gaping holes in the pillowcase. So all I have left to do, pretty much, I mean, I still want to finish the edges with a zigzag stitch to avoid any unraveling. As I did here, I didn't use a zigzag stitch. I used like some overlocking type stitch on my little sewing machine here. This one's my I guess portable one. I keep it in my living room because right now my garage is just full of junk because my husband was cleaning out stuff in the garage. So I haven't had access to my other machines. But this one, you know, it's fine. I keep it in my living room and I bring it out on my kitchen table whenever I want to do some basic sewing. So I'll use a zigzag stitch on the edges here. So now all I really have to do is just line up the ends with the pillow. Okay. I'm going to leave this side open because this is where we're going to put the pillow in. And then I'm just going to stitch like this and then stitch like this, because over here this is already closed. That was the top of the shirt. So don't worry about that. So just these two. See, my son wants more cereal or milk or whatever. Oh, cereal. Okay. So do that and then we'll continue. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, as you can see, I did a zigzag stitch all on the side. And then with something called pinking shears, as you can see here, they're kind of like zigzag cut. I cut off the excess very close to my zigzag stitch. So that's what you want to do if you don't have access to a serger. It just minimizes the fraying on your pillow. See here I didn't do this side, I wanted to show you. So all you have to do is just come in, I wanted to show you. So I'm doing this one-handed. Try and get both layers. I'm probably not, because I'm trying to see through my camera, which is not a smart thing to do. Here we go. See, I'm just getting both layers and I'm just trimming all that off just to give it a neater finish. And like I said, to minimize fraying. And then lastly, we're just going to like fold this up. I'm going to try and give it the thinnest hem possible, in between 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Just roll it up and then sew it down, and then I'll stuff it and then we'll see what it looks like. So here's the finished product. I love the way it came out. I already showed it to my client. She was very happy with it as well. As you can see, it's a basic pillowcase. It was, because of the size of this person, it was bigger than a standard size pillowcase. So I told the client, it would probably fit about a queen size pillow. As you can see here, the label is visible of his name, which is what exactly she wanted. Everything's sewed down, and it's really great. So I'm really happy with how it came out. Now this is the other one here that I did previously for a client. I did that monogramming on my machine, same way but stuffed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you learned something here. I was able to help you out, and have a wonderful, happy holidays, okay? Bye.